This is Norbert Herber from Indiana University and GQ Audio. This gray box demo will allow you to see and hear how all the lessons from Chance Thomas's Composing Music for Games sound in context. Look at the description section below for links to download the Unity 5 project file, as well as additional resources that cover the techniques of this Unity FMOD integration in greater detail. So, gray box. Well, in the game design world, the term gray box refers to a prototype with very, very simple visual elements. Its purpose is entirely functional. Designers can test game mechanics quickly without waiting for visual artists to create the objects, the characters, environments, and everything else that makes the actual game world. In our world of game audio, gray boxing is a really great and effective way to test your music cues and confirm that everything plays as you intended based on player interactions. Here in Unity, you can click the play button and hear all of the FMOD cues that we created in action. Everything is tied to this series of buttons and is labeled in a way that makes it clear which event we're going to hear. We start with the intro. The scene is set. And we move into some gameplay with condition 1. Here in condition 2, we have both the first and second loop layers playing simultaneously. Then when the game gets more intense, we move on to condition 3. And eventually, things will start to wind down. We go on to condition 4. And here we are back in condition 5, with just a single loop layer playing. And then we move on to the final section with that nested loop. You'll hear the timpani roll, the cymbal crash, and then we'll move into that loop section where the choir comes in. And in this section, the nested loop is going to continue to play indefinitely. If you listen to the file really carefully, you'll know where the loop comes around. If you think about a player who's deeply invested in what's happening in the game, it's going to be difficult for them to detect that point based on the way that this loop was composed. At some point, all things must come to an end, and that's why we have the tag. So this is the gray box demo, and like I said, you can download this Unity file, download Unity. It's a free program. Open it up. Everything's in the project file and should work for you. But I want to take a little bit of time to talk about what's going on and see the details of how all of this works together. In Unity, you can navigate here to the Assets folder and then look for this C# script called Play Audio. Double-click and it will open it in MonoDevelop, which you'll get when you download Unity. This is the little application that allows you to do all the coding that you need in Unity. We're not going to look at this in great detail because it really goes far outside of the scope of this lesson. But this file is commented very clearly, and now let me just give you an overview of what's going on. This top section, lines 6 through 12, this defines the variable names that Unity will use in place of the events that you created in FMOD. Now moving down, we have the start function. This is one of the first functions called when the game is launched. And here, the variables created earlier are assigned to the actual FMOD events and parameters that you defined when you were working in FMOD earlier. This variable, GameState, tracks the current quote-unquote reality of the game world. GameState becomes especially important here in the update function. Here in update, the value is constantly used to update the FMOD parameter called condition. Whenever game state changes, the value is passed to condition. The transition regions that we created in FMOD's layered loops event will redirect the timeline and crossfade the tracks in the right combination so that the arrangement of music reflects the current game state. Next, we have a series of functions. Play intro, play tag, play condition 1, condition 2, etc. In the case of play intro or play tag, these functions simply cue the appropriate music event. But in the case of play condition 1, 2, 3, etc., you'll see that the game state variable is updated. Down here at the bottom, you can see how functions like play tag, play nested loop, play condition 1, all of these contain a stop command. That command uses the FMOD property allow fade out. This not only stops the specified event, but it uses the AHDSR modulator that we assigned to those events, and it ensures that there will be a smooth transition when that event is actually stopped. So now that you've seen what's happening behind the scenes, let's go back to Unity and listen to it in context one more time. And there it is again. And I tried to do the timings a little bit differently so that you could hear what it would sound like, assuming that a different person was playing and they had a different strategy for the game. It's one of the main reasons why I put together this gray box demo, is so that you can listen to it in a bunch of different ways and hear how these techniques lead to a soundtrack that sounds complete. It sounds like it was composed to go exactly the way that you heard it, when in reality, it's just these FMOD behaviors doing what they do to cobble it together and make the soundtrack cohesive in a way that responds to gameplay. Well, if you did the FMOD lessons, everything that you created is used in this Unity file, and it's connected to a game event. You can use this file as an example to help get these techniques working in games that you create on your own. And for full details on a Unity FMOD integration, again, see the resources listed in the description below the video. Thanks for watching.